It's approaching the supreme moment. Reality striking closer than it seems, don't it? Go ahead.
What's good? Early Saturday morning. Hopefully you guys are doing well. Since this guy got a Dokkan Awakened recently with the release of the Turles unit, I figured I'd go ahead and cover this a little bit. This is going to be the super physical type Spirit Bomb Goku that, again, got a Dokkan Awakened recently on Global, I believe. So let's cover this guy a little bit. I'm going to talk about the stats off the bat and just kind of cover the unit itself. But the first segment of the video will be on a super type team where there are going to be like orb changing units included. Second half will be the Pure Saiyans category setup with him on the team. For leader skill, he does have the intelligence type enemies attack and defense minus 43%. Not really a worthwhile leader skill, but I guess you could try it out on like Battle Road or something like that and see how that works out. Super attack is a spirit bomb, does cause supreme damage to enemy and also greatly lowers defense. The passive skill does have the nuking ability, attack increase to 10% and defense increase to 20% per key sphere collected. Link skills, he's got Z Fighters, that's 15% increase to attack, all in the family, 15% increase to defense. Infighter, 10% increase to attack, enemy defense minus 10%. Saiyan Warrior Race will increase attack by 700. Prepare for Battle, plus 2 key experienced fighters, 10% increase to attack, and then Fierce Battle will add 15% to attack as well. Again, he only falls into one category, which is the Pure Saiyans. Unfortunately, that's not available on Global as of yet, so the first segment, like I said, will include the super type team setup with the double lead Tech Vegito unit. Maxed out, his stats are the following: HP of 15,156, attack is 12,985, defense is 8,901, 12 key multiplier is 140%. And obviously the name is Goku, so there's various ways to farm the SA if that's something you're thinking about. So more or less, this is a test on how this unit actually does. And again, the problem with the Pure Saiyans team is basically the setup in terms of the other units that can be included that have the ability to change orbs. Within the Pure Saiyans category, there aren't really any, so that's kind of the only drawback with that setup. Again, the super type team will work out just fine as well, and that's kind of, you'll see basically the setup interchange amongst throughout the video. So I did say it will be the first segment super type, and then second half will be Pure Saiyans, but it's a little bit mixed up all over the place right now, I just noticed. So just keep that in mind. It is like two different team build setups just kind of mashed up into one. I guess it's worth also mentioning that I did hear about the dual Dokkan Fest coming out with the Frieza and Goku unit. I guess they have the transformation mechanics, so I kind of briefly saw that over on Twitter a little bit. I'm not really going to cover that because it's really based on the data mines and what people are saying. I'll probably just hold off on until the actual release of the information comes out, and then we'll go from there. But it does seem like there will be included within the 250 million download celebration period a brand new unit for the Frieza unit, which should be a tech type, and then the Goku unit that's going to be the agility type, as far as I understand. So they do have the transformation mechanics, so like Goku will switch from like Super Saiyan to Super Saiyan 2, Super Saiyan 3, and I guess Super Saiyan Blue and whatnot, and then Frieza's the other scenario. So interesting rollout of new units, but as more time goes on, I guess we'll see what's up. So again, this guy does increase attack by 10% and defense by 20% per key collected. So I mean, it's ideal obviously to bring in units that have the ability to change orbs, but like I said, on a Pure Saiyan setup, there aren't really any units that have that ability, so that's kind of the dilemma with that. But the Pure Saiyan setup is good because he'll be able to link up with a lot of good units that are going to help him out and provide an overall balance to the team. Like Turles is obviously going to be on that category, and how much of a great passive skill he does have. So definitely one of those units that you want to include if you do happen to have that unit. I mean, there are a lot of better units compared to the Spirit Bomb Goku here, but you know, this is more or less a test and see how the unit actually does to give, you know, all you guys an idea of what this guy's like at Rainbow status. And again, I mean, you could certainly offset it by bringing in orb changing items, but on a realistic setting, like, you don't really want to waste item slot for you know, item changing or orb changing items, you know what I mean? So and then within the super type team, like, you could certainly include Weirus on the team, but he was omitted in this video test because, I mean, realistically speaking, you're going to choose Kefla over Weirus if you are going to run a super type team anyway. So Kefla does have the ability to change one type over to the physical key, but you know, Weirus does have the ability to change two orb types into the physical key. So I mean, it's definitely more beneficial to have him on there, but realistically, you're not. It's going to break the balance by bringing him on. So Kefla's probably going to link up better with the other units that more than likely are going to be included on the team. So that's kind of why it's set up the way it is. So back to the 250 million download celebration. It's going to be interesting to see when this actually rolls out, when the ticket summons are going to become available, like when the tickets are actually going to get distributed to each player. Like, I think last year was based on groups, like how it's distributed. It wasn't every player at once. It was kind of like broken out into different segments at a time, you know, just to not create havoc within the servers and whatnot. So, you know, we'll have to see what the deal is with that, and more importantly, what are the units that are going to be included off that ticket banner. So it'll be interesting to see what the deal is. Hopefully the LRs will be included. I don't see why they wouldn't be. So, you know, hopefully the rates are pretty good for that, and people are able to pick up LRs within the ticket summons. Like, you know, for those that weren't able to pull it all year, basically, you know, like, it's a way to compensate for that. But, you know, we'll see what the deal is with that. There's going to be a lot of activity going on, and, you know, pretty much there's going to be a lot to do during that period of time. So I'm sure everybody's getting excited about it, and you know, every right to be excited. Hopefully they bless every player in terms of, you know, the RNG luck and being able to pull good units. As far as the Spirit Bomb Goku, at least he does have Fierce Battle. That certainly does help. And I mean, Z Fighters you can link up with relatively a lot of units. Prepare for Battle, Experienced Fighters, you can come across a lot of units that have that link skill as well. In Fighters, a little bit one that's a little bit limited, but it's manageable. So one thing I do like about this card is the card art or design. Like, the Turles in the background definitely looks pretty nice. Definitely gives off like a movie poster type design itself. So definitely nice looking artwork on it. Alright, so Dokkan Mode coming up against the Omega Shenron, so we'll see how he does. Obviously Shenron takes a little bit less than damage than your typical bosses, so, you know, we'll see how that plays out. Yeah, I'm really curious as to what exact date the 250 million download celebration is going to start. We do have the update for, you know, we have a maintenance schedule coming out for JP on the 21st JP time. I think it was like 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. That's obviously JP time, so it'll depend on what your time zone difference is. But it's going to be a pretty long maintenance, and a lot of it's going to be that update to the giant category, having the potential level skills activated during their giant form, as well as that potential skill update to where you'll be able to see which units have the ability to you know, have paths unlocked or already have paths unlocked, and it'll give you that, you know, light blue color shading to let you know which units have that ability. So Amongst that, I think it was showing the status effects based on every attack, so you'll be able to see immediately if an enemy got stunned or SA sealed and whatnot, attack and defense decrease activated, that kind of stuff. So it'll be pretty interesting. It's going to be helpful. So a lot of good updates coming up for GP. Hopefully Global gets that update coming up soon too. We'll have to wait and see when that actually rolls out for the global side. I mean, this guy's not a bad unit, but it's going to be a little bit difficult to include him on a team because, I mean, there's a lot of better units out there. And, I mean, the 20% increase to defense per key collected could help. Depending on what type of other units you include, that's going to allow him to be able to collect more in key. But it's hard to, gauge, like, the practicality and usability of this guy on the best team setups, so more or less this is, like I said, a test. So for those interested, it'll give you an idea of what this guy's like. Looks like barely missed Dokkan Mode on that one with type advantage, but for the next rotation hopefully he'll be able to get the Dokkan Mode and see the maximum ability toward attack. So unfortunately, Turles is transformed, and the 40% increase to attack doesn't apply. 80% decrease for super types doesn't really apply either because Angel Golden Frieza is an extreme type. So we'll just kind of see how this is and close it out. But hopefully, you enjoyed the video, and this kind of clarified how this guy is at 100% potential. So certainly appreciate you guys watching, and I'm sure I'll upload another video later on today. So definitely, stay tuned for that. All right, peace out.